welcome to Wrestling Nostalgia. I'm your host, Dave Dynasty. Thank you for joining us and being patient with us, because I know this episode was due out, 2 weeks ago, I believe? I don't know. Had a lot going on, busy schedule, just crazy crap going on, and it caused a delay. I am truly, truly sorry. But as a thank you for your patience, what we're doing, if you saw on social media, you already know this, what we're doing is we're releasing 3 episodes at one, right? We had a poll out there of which interview you wanted to hear, Jerry Jarrett, Rip Rogers, or Larry the Axe Hennig. Now, Jerry Jarrett won the poll and was going to be the interview that we did. But as a thank you for your patience, you know what? We're going to put 3 episodes out. We're going to put all 3 out. So anybody that voted and anybody that cared is happy, at least I hope. So consider this an early Christmas present and a special thank you for your patience and for listening to our show. So, you know, that's where we stand, right? We got 3 episodes, 3 great interviews with 3 legendary people from the wrestling business. And on this episode, you're going to hear our interview with the legendary wrestler and trainer, the Hustler, Rip Rogers, a Midwest legend from a town very close to the town that I'm from. He's from Seymour, Indiana. I'm from Columbus, Indiana. They're just minutes apart. This is a great interview. Sometime I just may have to put some of the, I don't know what you want to call them, outtakes from this interview, because, I mean, we talked 10 to 15 minutes before I even introed in for the show, so it's some great stuff. But, you know, everybody knows Rip has his ways. Rip's colorful and always entertaining. So let's go right to it. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have that interview with Rip Rogers, so stick around. Be sure to follow the Dynasty Wrestling Podcast Network and all of the participating podcasts on social media. The easiest way to find us is on Twitter. You can follow the network at WrestlePods, and you can find all the individual shows at their Twitter accounts. You can find the Wrestling Nostalgia Show at Wrestle Nostalgia, the Ring-a-Ding-Dong Dandy Podcast at Stampede Pod, and the Wild Men Podcast at Wild Men Podcast. Also search us on Facebook for pages and groups. Participate, interact, join the network, and be a fan. Thank you for your support. All right, and we're now being joined by the one and only, the Hustler, Rip Rogers. Rip, how are you doing this evening?
Well, you know how I'm doing. I was working out 3 hours at the gym, and you called my old ass up. And you know, and I'm talking shit on the phone and stuff, so I have to go take it to my house. So I'm sitting here in the bedroom now. We're all plugged up, ready to go.
Yeah.
I've showered, shaved, got my workout in, and my stomach's growling. But you can't have everything, so I'm ready to go into Dave land, and we'll just talk shit.
All right, sounds good. So for the listeners, we had Rip on back in episode, I think it's 41. So I'd urge everybody to go back and listen to that. He talks about his career, tells a lot of stories. But today we're going to talk about the state of pro wrestling, because as everybody knows, Rip's got a can't-miss Twitter account, and he talks about this all the time, and you never hold back with your knowledge and your opinions. And on top of that, Rip, you've now literally written the book on pro wrestling, along with Caleb Hall. I mean, it is literally called The Book on Pro Wrestling, Lessons from Rip Rogers. So first of all, Rip, tell me, how did that book come about, and you and Caleb putting that book together?
Well, now this is a hell of a rib, Dave. Now just think, I'm sitting here now. Caleb, now he used to have the Dubai Pro Wrestling School in Dubai.
Right.
I taught him at OVW for years and years ago, and he used to be on the mat rats that Bischoff had years ago.
Yeah.
And he had the one that's married to Natalie, the guy that had the neck injury and the neck surgery.
TJ Wilson.
And then Teddy Hart was in there. Yeah. And I love Teddy to death. He's just wow. Let's just say he's unique.
He's like a young Rip Rogers, isn't he?
Yeah. But let's see. Oh yeah. Now Caleb. So he started texting me stuff, and I'm going, who the hell is this? He goes, this is Vince the Prince. Yeah, I said, what? I said, in Dubai? I said, what you do? Well, in the meantime, what he'd done, he had got married once, twice, 3 times. What the hell? And he was over in Dubai, hitting women, doing whatever, and running a wrestling thing. So now he's moved back to Louisville because he's got a house and a condo there. He said, hey, do you care if I do this book on you? I said, well, hell, Brian Alvarez was wanting to do one on me for years, and I never sat down with him and whatever. He says, no, all he's done is he's took all these tweets I did for about the last 5 years and put them in a book and sort of categorized them. So in other words, it was already written.
That's right. Yeah.
He said, now send me some pictures. So I sent him a bunch of pictures. So in other words, I didn't invest one penny. And then within about 3 weeks, he sent me a couple copies, and they had my name, my real name spelled wrong, and Lanny Popo's name spelled wrong. Everything else, if it was spelled wrong, I didn't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I've been selling books at Amazon, and I got some down at Seymour, at the brewery there, Seymour Brewing Company down on 2nd Street. So I didn't spend any money. And he's the author or whatever, right?
Yep.
And he didn't really write anything. He just took what I put in on tweets and shit. But it's what it is it's so, if you were a wrestler, it would really help you it makes you understand shit on an elementary level. It's broken down.
Yeah.
If you were a fan, you can enjoy wrestling more because you can start looking for this stuff. And it's mostly old school stuff, or when they do stupid stuff like being buried. He ain't buried. They lost the motherfucking game. Jesus fucking Christ. I remember the goddamn New York Giants won the Super Bowl, and they was fucking wild card team to get in or whatever. They barely had a winning record if even had that.
Yeah.
Get in there and win the goddamn Super Bowl because it's a game, it's a contest, it's sport.
Yep.
Best
Right.
people don't always goddamn win. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. They're not fucking buried. As soon as people start talking buried and moveset, I know you're a fucking mark. Excuse me, you're a fucking mark.
That's right.
Getting on the internet, thinking you know shit, you don't do fuck all. I've been at this shit over 40 goddamn years, making fucking money at it, being owners, being fucking bookers, doing this shit, and I never went to a goddamn wrestling school, but were trained by all these old motherfuckers that knew what they was doing.
That's right.
And they had to know what they was doing because we wrestled 350 days a year.
Right.
It wasn't like we was a fucking indie darling and hoped to have 8 shows for the fucking month against some other indie fucking darling that's just as stupid as me. You can't help it if you're fucking stupid because you can't get experience. No, when I got in, I'm 22 working with 40-year-olds. I'm working with Randy Orton's goddamn grandpa.
Yep.
And they said, no, let's not do that. We don't have to. And like a little Mark, I was sitting there with my lip pouted out. Well, I didn't get my flying head scissors in. I wanted to get my drop. He said, did they scream the whole time? Yeah. He said, you break a sweat? I said, no. He said, did you get hurt? I said, no. He said, I didn't either. It was great.
That's the name of the game, yeah. Well, speaking of stupid stuff, you've said many times online, you talk about how everything now, and you just mentioned everything's high spots and dives and all this and that. There's no emotion, no work in the crowd. Yeah. Do you think that at this point of the game, is that even something that can be fixed? Can that even be turned around at all at this point?
Sure it can. Everybody in the industry, if I'm a kid, and I'm basketball, I want to be Dr. J. I want to be Michael Jordan. I want to be Elgin Baylor. I want to be Oscar Robertson. That's what I emulated as a kid growing up playing basketball. If I'm a kid watching baseball, I want to be Mickey Mantle. I want to be Roger Maris. I want to be Willie Mays. I want to be Frank Robbins. I want to be Ted Williams. I want to be Babe Ruth. You imitate the best. If I'm playing football, I want to be Jim Taylor. I want to be Jim Brown. I want to be Bart Starr. I want to be or Joe Namath. I'm dating myself, but that's okay.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, you imitate the stars that are in the major leagues. So when they see somebody on WWE doing a stupid fucking dive, everybody there is going to do a fucking dive. Every match has got to have how many super kicks where we slap her fucking leg like fucking idiots. Oh, yeah, we're cool. Cool moves. What's a fucking cool move? It ain't no goddamn big move. A big move would fucking beat you. Oh, we got to have 99 fucking false finishes. Shit like that years ago, I get you fired. Motherfucker. Your ass would be out there so fucking quick. They wouldn't put up with that fucking... What the fuck are you trying to do? Yep. You don't burn somebody out. You learn to work your position. It's like a movie. We don't care if you're screaming in the beginning of the movie. I want you screaming at the end of the fucking movie. Yep. Jesus Christ, don't be a fucking mark.
Well, he used to. I mean, they had all these territories, right? And each territory had its own flavor, it had its own style.
Yeah.
And now everything tries to just
Yeah.
be watered down WWE. I mean, what will it get to get people to realize do something different? No one's gonna come along and knock Vince McMahon off at this point of the game. But
No.
what will get them to realize? Don't just be a watered down WWE. Do your own thing. Be something different. Stand out a little bit and try to develop your own flavor.
It's like if you was on WWE, what you do is you stop doing when they do all those stupid stunts, somebody's going to eventually die.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shane doing that stupid shit, because he's middle-aged. He ain't no wrestler. Fuck, he just does stupid shit.
Yeah.
But when you're the boss's kid, you can do stupid shit and make a lot of money. And but how stupid is that when you got a guy that works in the office, a suit guy, going to be competitive against a wrestler? He should get killed every fucking time. And don't even get into me about intergender matches. Anytime a guy against a girl in a goddamn sport, a fucking a high school guy could beat a goddamn girl Olympian in fucking anything. And I don't even want to get into that shit. I don't even recognize shit. Oh, they said something. They said, "Oh, did you see that Brian Cage?" I said, "Oh yeah, that big jack guy that's so fucking impressive looking. He got beat by that girl Tessa Blanchard." Okay. I couldn't. No, I don't want to watch. I ain't gonna watch that shit. There ain't no fucking way.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Well, have you seen the thing recently that I can't remember the guy's name, John Oliver put out, where he talks about the WWE and how they treat it? What's your opinion on that? And all this new surface he talk on unionization and different things. And what's Rip Rogers' take on that?
Okay, here's the way it's always been. Now, years ago, you had the territories. If you did all that shit, the territory would go out of business. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It costs too much. And as far as fucking unions, fuck you. It's like, oh, the strippers are going to have a union. No, we'll hire 6 girls off the fucking street and you girls are out. That's just the way it goddamn was. Now, when you go into fucking wrestling, you don't give a shit. You know that's the way it is. There's never been companies giving insurance and all that shit. And the guy with Cody, and he's going to do the fucking thing. The guy at the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to do the same thing that goddamn WWE. When Vince had the XFL, within 4 weeks it was done. How much money you going to lose? Now the shoe's on the other foot. This guy's don't know nothing about wrestling. And I saw their roster, and I said, okay, yeah. Now, as one of the boys, I'm always hoping there's more places to work. If they make it, if Cody's group makes it, good, more places to work.
Mm-hmm.
And that means WWE was going to offer you more money and shit because they feel they have to. There's competition all of a sudden. If there's Pepsi and no fucking Coke, you're fucked. If there's Papa John's and no Pizza Hut, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that goddamn. You got to have Popeyes and Colonel Sanders.
Right.
With this and that, but the thing about when you go in, it ain't ballet. You know you're going to get hurt. I bought my own insurance all these years, and I don't think I ever used it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well. Go ahead.
But you make so much. They pay you so much money that you can buy your own goddamn insurance.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, and you brought up this AEW group and everything.
Uh-huh.
And this has happened before, right? I mean, when TNA started and all these other groups and when WCW made the run,
uh-huh.
Do you think going in, these guys shouldn't look at they're going to fight with Vince as far as just look at I'm going to be a competitive number 2? Is it
they need to establish themselves as the ABA ignoring the NBA, the AFL ignoring the NFL.
Right.
Before that was Major League Baseball with the American League ignoring the National League. You need to get a good goddamn fucking product.
Yep.
Once you get a good goddamn product, you can, it's like years ago, if you was like in ROH, TNA, or whatever, New York wouldn't fucking hire you. New York, I mean WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're using that as a feeder system. You guys go ahead and pay them and get them some matches, and they get used to working in front of TVs and stuff. Then we'll just steal them all because, hey, let's get realistic. It's nobody's job to be a slow pitch softball king. They want to play in Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to play arena football. They want to play in the NFL. They don't want to play in basketball in China. They want to play in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, the thing that's the leader of the goddamn pro wrestling industry is WWE. Love it, hate it, don't matter. The whole thing is they're the goddamn leaders. Your goal is to be on WWE TV. You don't give a shit about TNA. You don't give a shit about Ring of Honor. And right now you don't give a shit about the new one. They ain't got the TV and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's great if you can get your foot in the door and get a paycheck and not have to have a goddamn real fucking job.
Yeah.
But WWE is the leader. Hell, Honky Tonk had so much fame on there. He still works the goddamn Comic Cons. He still works on goddamn weekend. Everybody knows who Honky Tonk is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it is because they got such great worldwide exposure.
Right.
And if you go on there, you're looked upon as a real wrestler. They say, "Oh, and you work for who? What channel are they on?" You know, I don't watch wrestling on TV. I'll just see something that somebody will send me.
Uh-huh.
I haven't watched TV wrestling in years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
So I just it's like Bobby. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm too old. I ain't changed. It's like Bobby Knight. He don't want to watch the NBA where everybody travels, everybody palms the ball. They have the Euro step, the jump stop, which is just traveling before. You know, he didn't want to see that. He don't want to watch that shit. He wants to watch pure basketball. You know, but anyway, I'll start going off on something else. Dave.
That's all right.
Anyway, what the hell was we talking? Oh, we were talking about the one guy talking about Vince and the insurance shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
And you make enough money, you can buy your own goddamn fucking insurance, please.
Yeah. And
that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But years ago, hey, and when I was owner at ICW, the boys made more than we made.
Mm-hmm.
We had to pay for fucking televisions. Every week we had to pay for a Oak Hill, West Virginia TV, a Johnson City TV, a Hazard TV, a Lexington, a Louisville, an Evansville, a Memphis, 4 of them in Southern Illinois TVs. We had to pay for them every week. It's like an infomercial. Then we ran towns, usually 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and 2 on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I remember twice on Saturdays we ran 3 fucking towns because we had to make money. And in the meantime, vehicles were breaking down. You got ring truck repair. You got your poster bill, your ticket bill, your insurance bill. This was 40 years ago. We had to draw $13,000 a year. This is a $3 and $4 to $5 ticket price.
Yeah.
We had to draw $13,000 a week to break even. And when you're looking at that today, well, hell, that's 7 shows. That's $2,000 a week. That's a lot of fucking money, right?
Yep.
Wow. So this shit's hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and you've trained guys for years and still work with OVW and all this and that. How much do you think of the current issues falls on the training or the lack thereof these guys are getting, and the fact that anybody who seems like they've stepped in the ring and had a quote unquote match feels like they can just be a trainer now and train the next wave of guys? How much falls back on that?
Well, okay, now really, there's no qualifications to be a pro wrestler, is there?
No.
They basically want their, if you have to do a physical and if you have to buy your license, and that's it.
Yep.
You don't even have to be in a ring before. If you know somebody, they can get you in. Oh, I know this guy. You can put some phony shit down or whatever. I remember when I was in South Africa, we had to try out before a bunch of shooters to go shoot with a bunch of people to see if we knew how to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
I just think WWE, they're taking, like if they got new TV in China, they got new TV in fucking India or whatever, that means they got to have the Indian wrestlers, they got to have the fucking the Chinese wrestlers, right? Mm-hmm. And they're fucking rotten. But you just can't keep going. After a couple times, the new wears off.
Yeah.
That's like they went into Mexico, they go into England, they go to these places the first time, and they'll draw and be in WWE. Then they need some local goddamn flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have some locals in there. So the bad part about it, the sad part about it, you compare it to like pro football. You don't have the Colts and they got 6 quarterbacks on the team, do you?
No.
That's like here's your roster. Well, we need so many Mexicans, so many Puerto Ricans, so many Englishmen, so many Germans, so many Orientals, so many Pakistanians, or whatever you want to call the shit. You can't call anybody anything anymore. So many all-American white boys, so many Afro-Americans, so many whatever, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And there's your roster. It doesn't matter that you're the fucking fifth best Puerto Rican, because we're only keeping 4, but we're keeping 8 of this other group because they got a bigger TV audience over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So nobody said life ain't fair. Nobody said life's fair. But now they fixed it so they can take athletes, and they made it so you don't really have to do promos, do you?
Right, yeah.
Okay, where we used to have to do, do a promo. You against Lawler Tuesday night in Louisville at the Gardens. Okay, boom, you shoot that one. Then me against Dick the Bruiser in a cage match Saturday in Indianapolis. Boom. Then you go, me against fucking superstar Bill Dundee at Evansville Wednesday night in the Falls Count Anywhere match. Boom. Thursday, then you're in goddamn Lexington against Handsome Jimmy in a no DQ match. Boom. You do your promo, right? You know how to do all that shit. Now they do one generic promo on fucking Raw or whatever, and it's goddamn scripted. Some fucking actor writes a pitch for you. So you don't, all you got to do is memorize this. Now you got these goddamn agents telling you, scripting you a fucking match. And I teach guys that goddamn I've had guys work for over 2-hour matches, non-scripted matches that make fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I fucking teach. When I say, okay, we're having matches today. Okay, we're up to 30 minutes now. You against 2, you're a baby face, you're a heel, shut the fuck up and do as he says. Go. Boom. That's how you learn.
Yeah. And you mentioned, you compared it to football, and we're talking about the positions and stuff. What used to, a show was set up a certain way, and where, you had, or certain things would happen in the opening match, and so on and so forth, and it would build. Now it's just chaotic. It seems like every match is the same. And it takes away from the main events and everything else.
And that all goes back, Dave. When you open up Raw, usually they're fighting outside the first match, ain't they?
Sure. Yep.
If the big guys are doing it, it's okay.
Yeah.
If the big guys are doing it, it must be okay. Bill Watts had the things you do not do before intermission. Limit your punches. Do not have too many false finishes. Do not touch the referee. There are no ref bumps. Do not fight outside. Do not milk a gimmick. Do not poke anybody in the eyes. All these rules you had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, then you have, after the first break, you would do this. And then everybody knew what the main event finish was. So nobody, and you knew what they was going to do as false finishes or high spots. So nobody did them ahead of time.
Right.
But then you learn, watch the first match. Whatever they did, don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you watch the first 2 matches. Whatever they did, don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This shit is so fucking simple. They made it hard.
Well, there's not even, I mean, is there anything such as a finisher anymore? Because everybody kicks out of everything. So there's not really.
Oh, no, that's okay now. Whatever I use as a finish, nobody ever got out of it in my life.
Yeah.
As Dick the Bruiser said, when I cover you, I won't cover you unless I'm pinning you. Nobody kicks out on the Bruiser.
Right. And
your finish hold is the same. Now, if the boss says to do that, that's something else. I've never had one say that.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But it never played. Hey, I was working for goddamn Baba. They gave me a goddamn finish. I said it was 20 minutes long as a fucking rib. I told Joe Gucci, the ref, I said, Joe, goddamn motherfucker, I know how to fucking work. What's the goddamn finish? Bigabuta? Okay, Bigabuta. I got that. I know how to lead up to it. Fuck the other shit.
Yeah. And you're very active on Twitter and everything else. What do you think? What's your take on social media? Is it hurting pro wrestling the way guys are using it now? Or, I mean, it could be a real good tool, right? I mean, it could be something that could, the modern, it can help develop stuff. But are they hurting more the way they're using it?
Well, this sounds stupid. I'm sure as hell, but I don't even know how to do an email, Dave. Okay,
right.
I'm not Mr. Technology, and if you ever see my Twitter, you know I've never tagged nobody in my life.
Right. Yeah.
I don't really know how to. I don't mess with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I'm at Hustler 2754, and when somebody wants to get going, if they insult me and say, "Oh, fuck you, old man," I said, "Oh, okay. yeah, you're cool. If I had a head like you, I'd have it fucking circumcised. Then I just fucking block them. And I said, well, now your game's over, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm in this fucking me. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I'm in this to sell books, sell fucking OVW, sell fucking class or whatever. If you can keep from getting hurt, that's always a plus. One of the guys in my fucking class, he was fucking crippled, and he fucking killed himself, because he was in a fucking wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crippled. Why? Because he did stupid shit. He did and another guy, fucking Rook, a little motherfucker, looks like the American badass Bobby Black from fucking Shelbyville. They should have been goddamn tag partners. But he fucking had this big ass fucking neck surgery because he got fucking paralyzed for a while, and then he had to have this neck surgery because he's always doing goddamn diving headbutts.
Yep.
When I do fucking class, I hardly do any fucking bumps at all. It's just to keep in half-ass bump shape.
Yep, sure.
I said, you've only got so many bumps on your bump card, then you're done.
Yep, right.
This guy might wrestle till he's 60. This guy might be done at 28 because he's bumped too much. When you're done, you're done. It's like a pitcher with that live arm. Once he's blown that son of a bitch out, he's done.
Yeah, sure.
Can't help it. And there ain't nobody that's God. There ain't nobody that lives forever. There ain't nobody that stays 28 years old. This is just the fucking way it is. You got to modify your fucking game. And I said, I never seen Dick the Bruiser do no dive. Mad, all these guys that drew money, they never did nothing off the top rope. They gave you intensity and emotion, threatening to beat somebody's ass, and they sold each other. Yep. There was very few false finishes, so that when there was a false finish, it meant something.
Sure.
A big move that does not beat you is not a big move.
Right.
You're just another fucking guy taking a bunch of fucking bumps that mean fucking nothing.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, everybody today they're all wrestling the same style. No one, you don't have like a power guy that does this certain moves or whatever else. Everybody's doing everything. I mean, you have a 7-foot guy that's diving out of the ring like the little, 200-pound guy. There's no different styles anymore.
Well, the thing about that is that's all on the office.
Sure, right.
I would say, okay, you guys are doing a chain wrestling match. You guys are doing, I want 2 high spots, no more. This one's you're doing this. Now this one's a lucha match. Do all your stupid shit. Because I'm giving the goddamn different things on the menu. I'm giving them the buffet, right?
Sure, yeah.
I give a little bit of everything. Now everybody here, oh, you like brawling? Well, they got that. You like lucha? You got that. You like fucking stupid dives? You got that. But we're only going to, now I'm not against the fucking dives. I'm against it not meaning stuff. And we used to do fucking dives, but we might hit a fucking dive and both get counted out, or one get in and the one not get in, right? Everything meant something. They're just doing dives just to do fucking dives.
That's right.
How many goddamn dives and super kicks do I have to fucking look at?
Yep. I remember, I think it was, I don't know, probably 85, 86, something, I don't even know when it was, watching World Championship Wrestling on Saturday night. I remember Ricky Morton doing a dive. They're in the studio, and it blew my mind at that time because no one did. You never saw that. You didn't see it all the time. And it was unreal.
In ICW, we had Pez do one me in the studio, and Pez was big. He was about 255 at the time.
Yeah.
Coordinated hell diving, and we slow-moed that motherfucker, right?
Sure.
And it was on the intro of our show. So every fucking show they seen that.
Yeah.
Now you never had to do it in the fucking house show because they knew it could happen.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. When they're doing 20.
Like I told Brock. That's like I told Brock when he did that fucking whatever that fucking flip he did at WrestleMania years ago. Broke you. I said, you do that one time in one big match, you'll never have to do it again.
Yep.
He said, he was doing it every day in goddamn practice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he could hit it all the fucking time. I said, I know. I said, you're hurting your body. And the thing about it is, Brock, that's not you. You're a fucking killer.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, I'm scared to death of you.
Yep.
And if you're doing fucking lucha shit and flips like a little guy, all of a sudden I ain't scared at you anymore.
Yep.
Frankenstein don't talk. You know what I mean? And Frankenstein drags along, and he's a fucking giant in slow motion.
Yep.
Andre could wrestle, but you want him to work like a goddamn giant. Big Show, you want him to work like a giant.
Yep.
Remember Matt Morgan? Hell, he was 6'9".
Yep.
he'd wear those gimmick boots. He's 7 foot. Didn't even work like he weighed 160. I said, Matt, you can't fucking do that. Oh,
Right.
I can show him I can fucking wrestle. I said, no, you're a giant, and you can't beat nobody, and it don't mean nothing.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep. And that's
I said, I didn't establish the way wrestling is. This is the way you do it.
sure.
You can change all this shit. It ain't broke.
Yep.
The wheel ain't fucking broke. The bicycle ain't broke. This is what fucking works. Mountain Dew works. Colonel Sanders works. Wrestling works. People are still the goddamn same. If you give them the old shit, they will buy it. Just sell each other.
Yep. That's you mentioned Brock Lesnar. I mean, right now he to me is such a throwback because that's what he does. He works that monster style. He just goes in there and he throws people around. He doesn't speak. He has Paul Heyman talking for him, you know, and he just stands there and stares at the camera. I mean, he's such a throwback and you know, and works that style. So
and he makes more money than anybody, don't he?
yeah.
On limited dates because Vince knows that nobody else has got his background and they believe in him.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. It's what kills me. They always bring these guys back to do these spots and everything else because they're not drawing, but yet they don't seem to fix kind of some of the root problems they got going on. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, you got to remember, now years ago, Dave, WWE would run 3 shows a night.
Mm-hmm.
Guys might work 21 days in a row, okay?
Sure.
But you had your A show, your B, it'd be like Hogan being the main event, and maybe Intercontinental title would be in the B town. The C town, you might have a tag team and an angle gimmick, right?
Yeah.
And this is just when you was having squash matches on TV and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and everybody drew and everybody worked hard. And, but now they only run 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
From 21. But the thing about it is they got such a good TV deal
Mm-hmm.
of getting guaranteed money, right, that they don't really give a shit about the fucking house shows.
Yeah, that's true.
Because and just think of the fucking house shows. If they got $1,200 or if they got 1,200 tickets sold, they know they're going to have 1,200 walk-ins. That's 2,400, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might give 10,000 tickets away on the radio the last day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because everybody there's going to buy $50 worth of gimmicks anyway. And if
Sure.
it's on TV, they got to gimmick their cameras or do the cover-up things so you don't see the empty seats and all that shit, you know.
Yep.
But then again, they punish you for going to TV because you got to be there for goddamn 7 fucking hours on a school night and a goddamn work night, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you, I ain't never taking my kids back to this shit. It's not like they run Indianapolis, they do TV, the next show they know they go to the small building because they killed the town from last time.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a normal show of, 2.5, 3 hours, whatever. And then they're ready for TV again the next year because they used to run Indianapolis once a month, all the big markets for once a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they go twice a year, and if it's a big enough market, they'll do TV there one.
Yep.
One TV, which kills the town. Then they'll have a shitty show, and then get ready for the thing the next time. So I told you I'd fucking ramble and start going on, and you don't know where the fuck to go.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, we'll wrap this up, Rip. We'll let you go. We'll let you go eat. You said your stomach was rumbling, but
Yeah.
we'll let you get it. Everybody out there, make sure you follow Rip on Twitter. As he said, it's at Hustler2754. What's that?
Yeah, and you can get that book from goddamn Amazon, or you go down to fucking Seymour Brewing Company on 2nd Street. Good
That's
old
right.
Sean Malone, pick up the goddamn book right there.
That's right. Yeah.
And
So
it don't get any fucking better than that. Jesus Christ.
no, that's right. And
Hell yeah.
if you're listening to this show, there's some show notes. I'll put the link, the Amazon link there, straight to Rip's book. So if you don't own a copy, like you said, if you're not in the area, click that link here and go and order a copy. The book on pro wrestling, Lessons from Rip Rogers. Rip, thanks for coming on and talking with us. We'll have to have you on again, and we'll talk more again, and we'll down the road and let you ramble some more.
We didn't even say shit today, did we? We were just bullshit.
That's right. That's what we do, right? That's what it's all about.
Okay, Dave. Well, thanks for having me. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, you
See
too,
ya.
Rip.
Thank
Yep.
you.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Support all of the podcasts here on the Dynasty Wrestling Podcast Network. Best way to do that is go to our Pro Wrestling Tees store. It is at ProWrestlingTees.com/The Dave Dynasty. There you will find all of the shirts that we offer. I Heart Old School Wrestling, Bruiser Buddy, the Podcast Mask shirt, and of course, the official shirts for the Ontario Wildman and the Ring a Ding Dong Dandy podcast. Visit PROWRESTLINGTEES.com/The Dave Dynasty. Order a shirt and support the network. If you would also like to support, you can join our Patreon. It's at patreon.com/Dave Dynasty. There you will get exclusive audio and video clips, early releases on podcasts, and much, much more. And if you would just like to make one-time contributions to support us, you can go to paypal.me/The Dave Dynasty. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening. Continue to support independent wrestling podcasts. All right, there you have it. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Wrestling Nostalgia with Dave Dynasty. And thank you for being patient with us. Like I said, lots going on, caused some delays, but as a thank you and an early Christmas present, we gave you this triple shot of episodes today with 3 great interviews. We hope you enjoyed them, and we hope you tune in next week to another free episode of Wrestling Nostalgia with Dave Dynasty. Until then, be good, be safe, and keep on growing.